GottaBeReel movie reviews with Thommi.
That's me.
And Jules. And right now we're reviewing The Woman King.
Do you know how long I was waiting for this woman power?
How long?
Forever. Since forever ago. It makes me think of Wakanda. It gave me that Wakanda feel.
Right.
So let's talk about this fantastic flick.
Okay.
Just fantastic. Let's do this.
So The Woman King is rated PG-13, and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It doesn't really feel like
Didn't feel like it, no.
Story. It stars Viola Davis in the lead character as Naniska.
That's our godmama. That
She's
is
the
our
Woman
godmama with her bad ass. Go ahead, Viola. Okay.
Thuso Mbedu, sorry. She plays Nawi. She's an established actress in South Africa. She was born and raised there.
She did a series, Harriet. Was it Harriet? Did they call it Harriet?
I believe it was Harriet.
Yeah, and I kind of was gonna watch it, and I was like, no, I'm kind of tired of the story. I don't know, but maybe I might check it out because I liked her in here.
I watched it.
She's very young. Yeah, and she has that look about her, like that period look about her. Maybe I might go ahead and check it out because she did pretty good in here. So okay.
Lashana Lynch as Agojie.
Let me tell you, that was my favorite character. It was barely 10 minutes after seeing her, I was like, her right there. She was a badass. Ooh, I love her.
She stood out.
Yes, she did. She was a warrior.
Sheila Adam as Amenza. She was in Bruce.
Yeah,
the Halle Berry movie.
She was kind of Halle Berry's kind of a girlfriend for a hot, quick second there. I like her.
And all that, yeah.
She fits perfect in this movie.
And John Boyega plays King Gezo.
He looked good.
Yeah.
And hair all curly, skin all clean and fresh and rejuvenated. He did
Melanin
good.
popping.
Yeah,
so the first time I saw him, and I think this might be his first movie. I'm not positive. I should have looked at that. But Attack the Block is when I first saw him.
Found that movie on accident one time, and I watched it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is good.
I saw it at a screening. Some people didn't like it at the screening, but
Really?
I was enjoying it. Me and boyfriend was enjoying it. We were like, yeah.
It was
good.
it was different.
He looked like a young Denzel Washington in that.
He was very young.
Like if they were like, this is Denzel Washington's son, I'd have been like, okay, but why is he British? But okay.
No, I recommend watching Attack the Block.
It's just a fun movie.
It is.
About aliens attacking the block.
Yeah. And it's good.
Apparently, they're supposed to be coming out with part 2. I don't know when. I don't know where. When I looked it up, it only had his name.
Really?
But they're talking about it.
I guess they could do a part 2, but I hate when they do stuff and then it just kind of like
that's what I'm saying. They
fails
might not
the original.
because when I looked it up, because it said that it was pre-production or whatever, it just had his name. So sometimes these things fall through.
Maybe he might be
don't put that on me.
producing
That
it.
there's going to be a part 2 for sure because I'm
Just
going
see
by
part
IMDb.
1. It's good because they kind of are like these little street kids out doing stuff they ain't supposed to be doing, and all of a sudden these aliens attack, and then they turn into almost like the
They
martyrs.
have to save themselves and their families.
And
this
is check it out. Pull up Attack the Block. It was good.
And
okay.
It's set in London. He is a British actor, so be prepared for the accents. That's what some people when I was in the screening,
I didn't have any problem understanding
this
that.
guy sitting like next to us because the place was packed. I can't understand the word they're saying. Like, then why'd you come, man?
Okay, well, get up and leave.
Or leave. Like,
some of their accents were thick,
talking.
but I understood what they were saying. It wasn't that difficult.
Like, why are you talking that loud that I'm sitting 2 people over from you, and
can't even hear.
I can hear you complaining about the accents. Like, if it's that bad for you, maybe you don't. Maybe you leave, or you ask for a caption thing or something.
Go get a refund and see something else.
We saw it at the screening, so it was free.
A film screening.
You can't get a refund.
Darn it.
Screening, but.
Yeah. No, but it was a good movie. I liked it. Yeah. So John Boyega is good anyway. So
yeah. So this movie, The Woman King, is inspired by true events. It's about the real Agojie tribe, which is all-female warriors who protect the Kingdom of Dahomey, one of the most powerful states of Africa in the 18th and 19th centuries. So yeah, there's some controversy here.
I know what the controversy is because there were people already complaining.
People were
before the movie even came out.
Yeah, they're like, this tribe sold slaves and stuff like that for real.
All of that is addressed.
Yeah, they addressed it in the movie.
Very deep. They actually addressed it very deeply, and it went good. I put it that way. We know the history of how some of that happened with POWs that got sold. but they actually address this more than once in here.
Yes.
And because they're like to the point where they're like, okay, at some point we're really hurting ourselves, even though these are POWs that we fought with, and it's coming back full circle. And that's how the world works. You get back what you put in, and they understood that was going on.
Yeah, I mean, Lupita Nyong'o, she was first offered the role as Nanisca. I can't speak right now
today. So that's Viola Davis's role.
Yes.
Okay.
And she turned it down because she discovered that the Agojie warriors were not all saints. They participated in the slave trade too, and being brutal, if not more than the men that bought them. Well, as we just said, it's brought up in here. So
it is. And there are some places, and I'm not just speaking about the Woman King, but from watching, certain documentaries in history or whatnot, that sometimes when the men would go to war and they would capture, prisoners or whatnot, they would turn them over to the women because they said sometimes the women would be more brutal than the men. I was like, well, dang. But, every woman ain't meant to be sitting in the house having babies and cooking and all that. Some of these women are some strong, loyal warriors up in here.
And they show that here, yeah.
I mean, at one point you got to see there's this fight going on, and basically they're going after the men because these men have kidnapped some of their people. So they got there's some men with them fighting, but it's like when you see they're fighting this man tribe, this tribe full of cocky men who think they own everything, who deserve what they got what they deserve. But you'll see, why are you men, these women have knives and things, why are you bringing a gun to a knife fight?
Right. Well,
I don't respect you. These are women.
They don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't think they did either. But you know what? That's a dang on shame if you got to bring a gun to a knife fight with some women. That just lets you know that they some strong warriors and you were scared.
I would like to say this. Look, this is a movie. It's set in one moment in time. It was set in the 19th, or 18th century. So it's from a long time ago. We don't know exactly what they said. We don't know exactly what went on. It's just a movie that's based on
and it's probably loosely based from what we know.
Yeah, loosely based. So when you see it, just to try to appreciate the story.
Yes.
And know that it's not 100% factual, although they do mention that they used to sell their own people, etc.
Right.
So, there's truth put in there. It's woven throughout. It's a story. Yeah. It's for entertainment purposes.
And that's what you get people, before the movie even came out, well, that wasn't accurate. Guys, listen, for the last fracking time, movies are not, there's no way possible any movie in history can ever be 100% accurate. Why? Because we weren't there. Look how many lies we were told about our country growing up that everybody believed.
To entertain us, because I've seen biopics where I'm like, well, why didn't they put that in? That would have been super interesting in this movie, and they didn't. Or they'll change it. They'll add another family member or something. It's like, well, why are you adding people when the story itself, I feel like, would be juicy enough because it's Hollywood.
It's entertainment purposes, and you have to. I don't think I could pull up my life from last year and be 100% accurate on any particular day. You know what I mean? It's not you. You got to kind of, like you said, for entertainment purposes, you got to do for dramatic effects.
Yes.
And they succeeded. And I mean, the acting in here.
Yes. Phenomenal.
Every freaking body was phenomenal. It would have been nice to see Lupita, though. I do love Lupita.
Do you know that they did like 90 to 100% of the stunts on their own? They didn't use like CGI and stuff because they said, it's set, in a time where, the women actually did this stuff. And, so they were like, let's just do it for real because they didn't have cranes and stuff. They're not.
Yeah.
They were able to do these things.
So they said it was grueling. Like I was reading some of Lashana Lynch, looking up information on her because like I said, I just loved her to death in here. And they said it was grueling. And I bet it was. Can you imagine how fantastic a shape you would be?
They said that the fight coordinator worked to their strengths too. So like I guess if they were a little bit more strong with knife, they would do more knife stuff, and they put that in there. If they were more strong with the bow, they put that in there. So.
Whoever did that choreography for the fight, they did freaking fantastic. Because boy, some of them scenes they were flipping and jumping, and I was like, "Ooh, get it, girl!" Yeah. Like, no wonder why all of y'all are in shape and strong.
They had to eat, properly, and they had to work out for many hours.
Grueling.
But John Boyega,
he didn't do it. He didn't have to do it.
He was like, I try to hide my fried chicken from you guys. I try not to eat my food in front of your faces. But I know that if anything ever went down, you lot have my back.
I bet that diet was probably torturous. But my gosh, can you imagine this? I mean, they were all in shape. Period. They were already in shape, and you could tell. Like, I was just looking at those fight scenes, like, get him, girl. Ooh, oh, she just flipped, grabbed him by the neck, power drived him. Yeah.
And they were barefoot most of the time too, and they're like, that's something to get used to as well. Running around barefoot when you're used to wearing shoes about 80% of the time,
and your feet get raw, and you get calluses and they bleed and all that stuff. So you talk about putting in some work on a movie, honey. This was some work behind the scenes and on the scenes as well. And they hit every part, everything they were looking forward to do in this movie. It was successful. Like, I've never left a movie feeling more strong and proud. And I mean, these warriors, they were just so fierce, and I just left there just feeling so good. And I knew at some point, I said, at some point in here, it happens every movie that you love. At some point, somebody's going to go that you don't want to go. And I was wrong for a minute, and I'm glad I was wrong. But it happens. It's war. You're going to lose one of your characters at some point. But they were just so damn good. Yeah. Gosh.
And it's not just a black movie. Anybody can watch this movie and appreciate it and like it, even just for the action scenes or whatever. But yeah,
they were.
I say go see it.
And I like how they sprinkle some of the men in there. Like, they put one guy in there who came over, with the slave traders. He was half black, half white, and he kind of, I came because I wanted to, see where my mom was from. And they're like, dude, what are you doing? We get you all extra light, and you probably pass half the time, but they know he's half black, but he's saying he's there because he wants to see where his mother grew up and stuff. But how it unfolded was really good. I mean, it was really good writing in here. I don't have any complaints anywhere in this movie. Do you?
Not that I can think of. It's been a couple weeks since I've seen it. So. No,
I like when it releases on DVD. It's definitely going to be in my collection because this is the kind of movie I can watch over and over again. And Viola is just so the bomb. And every freaking thing she does. I loved How to Get Away with Murder. She's just good. She's just that good. Her, Angela Bassett, they're all in that same disc. Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic actresses. So we got some fun information here.
Yes. Okay. In the film, Nanisca confronts Gezo about the immortality of selling black slaves to the Portuguese and suggesting trading in palm oil production instead. While this conversation is fictional, it's based on historic fact that the Agojie favored trading palm oil with the Europeans between 1840 and 1870. Okay. Whether they considered it immoral is unclear, especially given their history of participating in slave raids. Slavery in Dahomey persisted after the British Empire stopped Dahomey from continuing in the Atlantic slave trade. The British Empire's Royal Navy successfully blockaded Dahomey slave trading in the 1840s, which led to Dahomey's two political parties becoming polarized about what to trade.
There's so much that's gone into that. It's a lot of deep. There's a lot of stuff we probably may never know.
Yeah. The film's title comes from the fact that the people of Dahomey believed in a legend of two kings, a man and a woman, who are exact equals, and Nanisca is expected to be crowned a woman king, hence why the film isn't simply called The Queen or something similar.
Thank you for that. I would love to take that paragraph and put it on some foreheads of people who started in with the, why are they calling a woman king? Why do they want to feminize men? Oh my gosh, are you serious? It had nothing to do with the feminizing men or masculating women. That is the reason it says woman king. They are talking about equality. Yeah. My gosh,
and
some
it's not
people.
America, it's Africa. Not everybody is the same as America.
Yes.
Other countries, other places do different.
Yes.
They handle things differently.
I had no problem with it being a woman king. It makes sense to me. Yeah. You got two strong people on the throne. I'm a woman, you're a man. It says woman, king. Let go of all that old stereotype stuff in your head and understand that, especially now with Hollywood, everybody's wanting to see equality across the board with women, with the cultures and all that. And they're doing it. Don't complain about it. It's happening. Let it flow. Open up your mind. Maybe read a little bit before you make those comments, because there's reasons for it. And that paragraph right there tells you exactly what it was about. Yep. It totally makes sense. Yeah.
The film is based on the Kingdom of Dahomey, which was the West African kingdom located within present-day Benin that existed from approximately 1600 until 1904. The growth of Dahomey coincided with the growth of the Atlantic slave trade, and it became known to Europeans as a major supplier of slaves. As a highly militaristic kingdom, constantly organized for warfare, it captured children, women, and men during wars and raids against neighboring societies, and sold them into the Atlantic slave trade in exchange for European goods such as rifles, gunpowder, fabrics, cowrie shells, tobacco, pipes, and alcohol. Other remaining captives became slaves in Dahomey, where they worked on royal plantations and were routinely mass executed in large-scale human sacrifices during the festival celebrations known as the annual customs of Dahomey. I did a separate search on that, and it came up and it said that that's true. So
there's some stuff in here. I mean, you're gonna, if you already don't, hopefully you already know our history. Okay, more than just a Google search. If you talk to your elders and stuff, you know, you need to hear these stories. Some of the stuff it's hard to hear, it's hard to accept, but some of the stuff it is what it is. What happened has happened. Another part of this movie that I loved. So we know, in history of the world, not just America, that people will sell off their teenage daughters to an old perverted mister for various reasons. Sometimes they would sell them off because they couldn't feed them, so they would sell them off, you know, make her a wife, and you know. Oh, honey, they resisted that in here. They were like, whose wife? No, I'm not about to be your baby maker. And I like that they addressed that in there. And they did it with the younger girl in here. And her dad tried to sell her off. And she was like, okay, we can fight. Basically is what she did with the dude. But I like that. But that was just a common practice in history of the world. And it's pretty foul. Like, I just can't imagine. You know what? We're just going to have to eat one piece of meat a night, because I'm not selling off my teenage daughter to a filthy mister just to be his baby maker and keep his house and farm going. But it happened in the history of the world. Sometimes you see stories where...
So they had to survive.
Yeah. But I'm glad they addressed it in here, because this was about women strength and warriors. And they were not accepting. I'm not being no baby maker. You got me all kind of twisted. So I like that in there.
Well, how many clappers would you give this?
Oh, I'm going with a strong 4.
Okay.
What about you?
I am going to go with, I think I'll also go with the 4.
I think that's fair. It was very entertaining, action-packed. The fight scenes were freaking fantastic. The acting was off the chain. Everything about this movie was... So to everybody that participated, the fight coordinators, the director, the producers, the cinematography,
the actors, all the work that they put in.
My gosh, that is some work. And you got to appreciate when somebody's putting in that type of physical work, because the days are long. You don't get to sleep much. You're not getting to eat cheap meals that you used to. And it's difficult. Nothing about this movie was easy, you know, and they had the settings and everything matched. There wasn't anything off for the music or anything. And you see the dancing, and you see the camaraderie and the sisterhood and all of that in there. And I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I love it. Highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, go see it at the theater. Support it while it's at the box office. It did very well, but go see it at the theaters. And this is something you can take the younger ones. There's no sex scenes in here that I recall. So this is it's a piece of history. But there's fighting. There's war. Yeah. So it happens. But this is something that everybody can watch. It's not meant for any particular group. Fantastic movie.
They even had like an underlying story, which I figured that out personally.
Yeah. I didn't. You know what happened? I'm not going to say what this is, because we do not want to spoil it for you, because it's so good. Some dude yelled it out. I was that close to turning him in. I was so mad, because he did it like right away. Like, give me freaking 45 seconds to finish the scene out. And this jerk yelled it out. I said, he got one more time to say anything, and I'm going to report him. That ticked me off. Be quiet. Yeah. It's okay to laugh and things like that in a movie, but don't be inconsiderate yelling out spoilers and stuff like that. Like, sometimes we have a movie figured out, but I'm not going to yell it out or talk to the screen. No. That was another thing. People want to talk to the screen. But again, this is why I go to Majestic sometimes when I was trying to build up my points at Harkins, and this... But anyways, it didn't ruin the movie for me. It was good. But he did give a spoiler out, and that ticked me off.
I'm sorry that happened
Yes,
to you.
it did. But it's
I
good.
never yell out stuff.
It's good. So there you have our review of The Woman King. We're both giving it a strong 4 clappers. As for us, don't forget, we are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Cash App. If you want to make a donation and contribute to our movie watching ventures, that would be fantastic. Talk to us. Let us know what you want to see. We'll do any movie you want. We'll review it, shout you out on the show. And also, Gotta Be Real, we are on the FearCon network. So go to Connect to Your City Studios. You'll see the FearCon tab. You're going to see a lot of our horror films, thrillers, old, new, uploaded there. You can go through, watch the old ones, watch the new ones, but we'll be on the FearCon network. So also check us out there, and also PhoenixFearCon.com. So shout out to Chris and Anita for bringing us onto the network.
Thank you,
appreciate
ladies.
it so much. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to our review of the phenomenal film, The Woman King, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.